John, the Pistons have a decision to make a week from tomorrow. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Do they stand pat? Pistons have surprised people this year, fighting up to a 6 seed at one point. They're in the thick of the playoffs in terms of like seeding. What do you think they're going to do here?
I think this is a great opportunity honestly, they can't really go wrong. They have positioned themselves in such a great way. If they say, you know what, hey, we had a plan coming into the season, and even though we've played better, and I'm making this up. I don't know that this was their plan, but hey, we want to get these guys. We're going to get Beasley on a 1-year deal. We're going to get these guys that if we can play well enough to be a fringe playoff team, the 10 spot of the play-in tournament, or we're going to be just outside, we can sell these guys off. We could take on other contracts. We could continue to position ourselves for next year or 2 years down the road. Things change. And they're in a position where they could actually be top 6 and not in the play-in tournament, but actually have a playoff position. And now all of a sudden, I don't know that they go out and they don't have that all-in move, that all-in mentality, because even though they be a playoff team, I don't think they're a NBA championship or even conference finals team. But they could use this opportunity to not only improve themselves this year, but improve themselves for the next couple of years. If they're able to acquire someone that's not going to break the bank, they're still going to have plenty of money to spend in the offseason.
Yeah, just so we're all clear on where the Pistons are at. Currently the 8th seed right now, but this is much better than we anticipated. I thought the belief was you could flip Beasley and Hardaway and even Tobias, depending on how well he had played. This was just kind of a signed to be traded kind of deal. Malik Beasley has been super open. He had the quotes about talking to Trajan Langdon and understanding it's a business. If a contender swoops in with an offer too good, they're going to trade him. But I'd like to keep Malik Beasley. Like, that's how much I think things have changed. He is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. I think he is one of those people who helps Cade develop into a star by spacing the floor. Malik Beasley is 6th in the NBA in three-pointers made per game. And of the guys who make more than him, only one makes them at a higher clip. Like, he's a 40% three-point shooter. He has helped Cade space the floor. It's an investment in Cade as much as it is in winning right now. I'd absolutely like to keep him. I'd like to bolt him down. I'd like to extend him. You can't do it in season, but I'd like to have him. I agree.
But you can have all those conversations now, and it feels like those conversations are going. It sounds like those conversations are going on because Malik Beasley was quoted as, me and Trajan been talking a lot. All right? Okay, that's great. And here's what I love about it is, one, it sounds like he likes it here. He's found a team, and whether it's teammates, it's a coaching staff that he feels comfortable with. He's obviously having success, and it sounds like he would like to stay. But you've got to be completely honest with guys. And it's a rare occasion that it happens in professional sports. And if Trajan Langdon is starting his time as general manager with conversations with players and with agents of, we like you here, we know what you've been able to do, we know what you bring, and then follow that with, it's a business. And this is what Malik Beasley had said. He also told me, referring to Trajan Langdon, it's a business. If a championship team comes with a crazy deal, the business is the business. And when you bring up the stats that you just brought up, he is going to be sought after for a team that needs a three-point shooter that is reliable in a championship run. And if they're willing to come with a crazy deal, then the easy answer is you take the crazy deal, because you're not a championship team this year. Unless, I don't even know what type of crazy world that we're living in where we could say, I know it's sports, but in a 7-game series or in a playoff run, I just don't see it as a possibility.
No, the Pistons are most likely going to be eliminated in the first true round of the NBA playoffs, assuming they avoid the play-in or get through the play-in. They're likely to be eliminated in the very first round.
Do you think we get the first postseason victory in a decade?
Yes, that'd be awesome. especially if they hold at the deadline. Buy, sell, or hold. If they hold, yeah, I think it's in play. The buy conversation's fascinating because it's not a conversation I think people were ready for. And, John, they're not going to trade for a true superstar next to Cade. I just don't see that.
No.
Some of this is their first-round pick is still tied up and technically owed to Minnesota. You want to give that up this year because it means you're winning, and two, then you don't have this kind of hanging over your head. So the deals they'd have to make would have to be smaller deals. But they could still buy. I've seen people say, why not C.J. McCollum? Get a true number 2 ball handler for Cade. He's expensive, but it's a 2-year commitment. New Orleans might just want to get out from under that deal, and Detroit can absorb it. And I think even with Ivy back next year, those 3 could form, a decent backcourt where you always have 1 or 2 ball handlers on the floor at a time. There are buy moves. That's kind of the camp I'm in. I'm sick of the selling. I want to see them either hold or slight buy to fight for the 6, and more than fight for the 6, fight to improve, fight to provide a foundation. You're hitting Cade with a max. He's on the ascent. It's time to start putting really good basketball players around him, not jettisoning them out. If someone offers you, I don't know, what's a Godfather offer? If someone's offering me a late first for Beasley, I'm not exactly dying to do that.
That's not a crazy deal.
I'm keeping him unless someone's offering me like a lottery first, and no one's doing that. So I'm keeping Malik Beasley.
Well, and every sport has its uniqueness. And when you're talking about the fact that you can't extend Beasley before the season's over. So when the season is over, you're quote unquote going to be in a bidding war with everybody else that might want his services. On the flip side, you can have a lot of those conversations right now. You might not be able to ink a deal, but you can have some of those conversations. You just don't want to have an asset that at the end of the year, somebody just offers more, he walks, and then you're left with nothing.